Hey everyone, hope you're having a good day. My name's Andy. My channel's Finding Value. Today we're going to do our daily technical analysis update of oil and natural gas. Again, this is one of my favorite sectors. I think this has some of the best risk reward areas of any sectors. Why do I say that? Because the companies have a lot of leverage to the price move and they actually move. They're making money. They're going to make copious amounts of money. They all exhibit very good chart patterns. We're sitting on top of things or inside of patterns that haven't broken yet. And I think this summer coming up is going to be a pretty fun summer. So with the demand going up for summer driving season and the demand from myself going up, not that I make that that much of a demand on it, but I do think that we've got good times ahead of us this year, this summer in particular. So let's dive in. I'll give you my financial opinion. Please don't use it as advice. Here we go. So basically, we were sideways today, almost a bloody nose. It's not a down day, but it could be. I mean, it's basically flat. Natural gas had a little down day. This is more of a bloody nose. It's leaking some blood out of his nose, the big tall guy. This is a continuation pattern, usually to the upside. But natural gas is looking just fine. It's sitting right on top of the big pattern right here. So what they do is it takes a lot of energy. It breaks through it. They usually kind of relax on top of the pattern for a little bit, and then they break. That's kind of how things work. And XOP, it's probably got a little, it's a small down day. It's a little bloody nose with momentum going up. Still looks okay. We're just sitting below that resistance line of this long-term resistance line. Not super long, but there's a resistance line going through here. And it depends how you draw it, like logarithmic or not. But SM Energy, just a sideways day to day, guys. Just a little guy right at the resistance line. We're right at resistance. We got to punch through it. It's going to take some effort and some time. And we need oil to go up too. It'll help us get us out of that area. Centennial Development sitting inside of its pattern. There's your pattern here. And we're waiting for oil. It's on the launching pad, ready to launch. We're just waiting. This is a good spot. This is where I usually like to accumulate a couple shares. I keep piling in. Crew Energy, same setup as those other ones. They're just sitting inside the pattern, ready to launch. It's like, are we ready to launch, guys? And then they're like, no, hold on. Do not leave the crew. So that's my take on it. CPE, another one. It is in the holding pattern. Okay, that's good. So we're in the holding pattern still. This is a inverted shoulder head shoulder type pattern. It doesn't really even matter what you call it. Once you start working with enough charts and you kind of find out where the resistances are, it doesn't matter what the pattern makes underneath it. All that matters is that you have favorable conditions to break through the resistance area. Athabasca Oil Steam, it's right at that resistance area. It's sitting there. It's just sitting there going, should I go or should I not? And it's just sitting there asking that question. The volume's just stepping in saying, I'm going to buy everything there is at this. So we've got the buyers buying and the sellers selling, obviously. And there's a slight move higher. We're just going about this resistance line. And then when that breaks, we're going to break all the way to 550, I think. Not in one day, but it could break and move at a pretty good pace is what I'm saying. Recap, update today, we broke out of this downtrend line to the upside, so that's some positive development. We've got Crescent Point again at its support resistance line. It's just hanging out, bouncing all around, waiting. It's in a holding pattern, waiting for oil to break higher. Let me check something here real quick, guys. Yeah, it's kind of hard. Usually what like a pattern that you get is this pattern here. You see this pattern come up, go sideways and pull back and then go. It's almost like we're doing a mini pattern like that where we might come sideways and then break. We might go sideways for a little while. Look at the noggin. Z-noggin doing good. Nice, good bullish engulfing that day there. That was the lead of this move higher. I do like Northern Oil and Gas. I think we're at a very good position for it on the long term, and we're just ready to break. That looks really good. Grand Tierra Energy, another one that I own that I just sit on. I don't do anything. and we're just bopping sideways. We're up a little bit today. Tellurian's another spot that I really like in this area here. It's a liquefied natural gas terminal builder. And we're sitting on top of the pattern right now, and that's exactly where I like picking up a little bit. Pedevco, nice little update today. It's working its way back up, bubbling to the surface of the resistance line. And we'll see if we can do another run at that pattern. Oasis, sitting on top of the Oasis. Little down day today. Nothing really to talk about, but it's up there, guys. It looks good. Now we just need to get a little kick in the pants. CRK, Comstock Resources, sitting on top of its pattern, doing its bouncing thing. I would be a buyer up here on top of it, waiting for oil to move higher. Another one, Sandridge, sitting on top. It's right at the support resistance line there, and I would be a buyer up here. Ring Energy on top of its support. Still looking good, guys. And this one from a long-term perspective, you get these, I like how you have these big, nice, long resistance lines, right? Then we break above it. You know, we broke above it, came back, broke above it again. We're cycling up, and then you get that nice little barrel pattern for a big move up eventually. I'm not saying right now, I'm not saying this second, but eventually I think we'll break out of here and do some cool things. We've got Surge Energy just chopping sideways on top of its pattern. There's breaking higher. It's looking really good. The volume's stepping up. This one looks absolutely excellent for me. I did buy some shares over here, guys. I'll admit it. Not super recent. I mean, recently, but not like I didn't do it today. Tamarack Valley Energy looking good. It's sitting on top of its pattern. I could do a little bit of sideways action up there. Crescent Energy, this was our one. It's doing the sideways move on top of a support line. Looks good. VET, Vermilion Energy, looks like it's in a little bit of a pullback mode. And then Meg Energy on top of its pattern, just moving sideways. We'll do energy service companies real quick. OIH is the ETF. Looks like we're right above the support line, moving sideways. Tetra Technology, little bloody nose. Most likely a move higher will still ensue. Riggs doing its bouncing on top of its pattern. Pump, just a sideways down. A little bit of momentum coming down. So we're probably going to do some bouncing like this or something like that. EXTN, this one looks good. Nice, good, strong finish there. And we're starting to break out of this little area. Valeris, Limited, little bloody nose. Will we move higher? We'll find out. MRM, another one that is good on a long-term perspective. It's down in no man value land, and it's ready to go. Looks good. Tidewater, this thing's had a pretty big move. It's got a bloody nose on the month, or no, that's the weekly candlestick basis. You can see a little down day today. And this is a big move, guys. This is a big break. Cut it some slack. Let it relax a little bit. NEX has also had a massive move higher, and we're just consolidating that gain. And then eventually it'll continue. KLXE looks like we're at support. We'll see if this support holds and if it comes back up next trading session. CHX, I like this one right here. I would be a buyer. WHD, Cactus Energy, again, I like it down here. We're just bouncing on support. 9 is one that looks like we're trying to find some support here, so we'll see which way it breaks. OII is another one I like in this area. Oceaneering International. NE coming up to some resistance up here. You can see it with the wicks. The wicks, Z-wicks, are getting us. Another kind of return move, looking okay down there. CGGYY, CGG, that one's fine. Just give it time, guys. Give it time. It'll work its way higher. And then Petrofac, a little down day today. Again, we're still in a decent area. And to walk away, what I'm doing here is I don't play the short-term moves. What I'm looking for are buying opportunities. A lot of these, they're buying opportunities. They're sitting on top of patterns. That's where I buy. I buy either before the break, if it has favorable market conditions. If it still has favorable market conditions, I'm game on, basically no matter what. But I like buying things when they're down. Some of the companies. Everybody thinks energy service companies all trade the same. They do not. They do not trade the same. The oil and exploration companies do not trade the same. It depends on if you're a high-cost producer, low-cost producer. It depends on what's favorable at that time. Sometimes money gets drawn to certain companies first, then second, then third. So you've got laggards, you've got leaders. And what we're looking for is we're looking for the laggards in the exploration companies. I like Surge Energy right now. Maybe not the second, but I like Surge overall. The big picture view looks really good for that one. Northern Oil and Gas looks good. CDEV. Actually, they all look pretty good, to be honest. And the energy service companies also look good. If we get summer driving season coming and the price of oil going higher, these are all going to do incredibly good things. All of them. And which ones are going to do the best? Probably the ones that can increase their production the most, that are high-cost producers with a bunch of debt. Because when the oil price goes up, all of that unwinds quickly. I would also think something like an Athabasca Oil, something with low quality oil that people don't necessarily want this second, will become ultra valuable in a shortage situation. So I think that one's also good. All of these that I'm showing on this list, I think are worthy of looking at least. And then it's up to you on how you want to configure your portfolio. I can't give you that advice, but my opinion is, I buy what's down. I don't determine, if that this one's better than this one because it's performed better over the last 3 months. I don't think that's a good necessary indicator, because if you're stuck at resistance, it's going to pop at some time. And you could get, well, I want leverage to the big move. And a lot of these companies, I think in the oil exploration, have done very well on that leverage. I think they will continue to do well. Now, there are some ways that you could play it with warrants. I know some warrants are still down. They've got strike prices that are far higher than where these stocks are currently trading. And if these were to go quite ballistic, the warrants could become a lot more valuable than what they are today. But there is those opportunities. Maybe I'll talk about it on the Finding Value website. I'll talk about warrants, kind of what they look like, kind of how they work. And I'm not an expert warrant pricing person, but I know that they look cheap right now for some of the companies that I watch. If you guys like the content, give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Check out my website, Finding Value website. We're going to have a meeting tomorrow. It'd be a meeting today, and you'd be watching it when we're holding this meeting. That's awesome, right? Because I'm releasing this at 7 a.m. Saturday, and that's when we're having it. But yeah, if you guys are interested in joining the website, definitely sign up. Silver membership gets you the educational type piece. The platinum membership gets you all the picks and my opinions on those picks. You get to see my personal portfolio, not the account value amounts, but I list everything that's in my portfolio so you can see what I own. I wouldn't try to replicate my portfolio, because unless it's when I buy things. If I buy things and I say I'm buying something, that's when I would most likely be interested in buying it. So thank you for listening, guys. This is Finding Value.